Welcome to the Regardless of podcast with Nicole Wesson, and welcome to 2024. I am happy to be back starting off 2024 with a new, I would say, just refreshing attitude and approach to what I want to accomplish here on this podcast, but also in the other areas of my life as well. I love talking about leadership. The reason I'm talking about leadership, the reason that there's this podcast and there are other things along the way that I'm working on in the background. We need good, strong leadership now more than ever, not just in corporate America or in organizations around the world. We need good, strong, capable leaders with integrity and ethics in all aspects of our lives. And what I'm sharing is just a reminder you are a leader, you can be a leader, and do more than what others have expected of what leadership is. It goes back to what I've mentioned before, the leadership versus management, leader versus the title. We can all have a title, but that doesn't mean that we are a leader. There are plenty of managers who have the title of manager, but if given the choice, many of their direct reports wouldn't follow them. It is what it is, and I said what I said. But today I want to talk briefly about one of my favorite phrases in reference to leadership. I learned it when I was younger. It's so important. I have it on a t-shirt, one of my favorite t-shirts, by the way. And that phrase is lead by example. I was watching something recently. We were looking at some different leaders, what they were talking about. Some of it was completely sideways. And it just didn't resonate with me. It resonated with some, but it didn't resonate with me. Then it came to mind. I wanted to question that person who was speaking, that person who is a leader. I wanted to ask him or her, could be him or her, I'll say they. I wanted to ask them if they believe that they're a good example for their followers. But beyond that, I wanted to change it up a little bit. And when I say lead by example, what I would have loved to ask this person, if you are leading by example and leading in a way that you feel is that you feel makes sense, that you feel confident and comfortable enough to lead that way. Do you want your followers following your example? But beyond that, would you want them to do to you what you've done to them? Because, hey, that's part of the example. Leading by example is simply modeling the behavior. I'd love to think about kids, and there was a video recently where you saw an older person, a grandparent, and their grandchild was following them. They walked the same way. They held their hands the same way. They moved the same way. They were modeling the example. Leading by example can be challenging for a leader. They aren't necessarily always thinking about, is my behavior what I want to reflect to those who follow me, those who believe in me, those who I'm leading, those who I influence. It's not top of mind for most. The great leaders that we've had throughout history, even now, today, I believe great leaders often give consideration to how they are being reflected, what they're doing and saying, because they know and they take their responsibility as a leader very seriously. They know that by doing something, when someone else looks up to them, they can lead that person down a path of positivity or one that can lead to destruction. That's something I want to leave with you. How are you leading? As a leader, how are you leading by example?